muttering to himself. Then someone came to ask without saying hello. You are the ones who fought the villains, right? The person who came was Vane, the deputy leader of the union. But why did she come here? I heard there were many casualties. Yuan stood up to talk to Vanilla, right? But we have collected a few items from the villains. Because we followed them. Vanilla complimented, well done. You haven't told anyone yet. She changed her face. In just a blink of an eye, give it to me. Why can't Yuan fix the situation? Vani pulled closer to him and spoke. Those items. I want them. What do you want them to be? Yuan looked at her with puzzled eyes. Vanilla replied coldly. There's no need to make small things big. The union will handle this. How confused will people be? If you know the information about the criminal was poor before, now it suddenly appears again. It's not necessary. But it's true that the villains reappear, right? We must report to the Hero Association. Yuan still wanted to reason, but Vanilla spoke up impatiently. Don't make me repeat it again. The union will handle this. To not make things more complicated. Normal. We are also responsible for similar things. Finally, she closed the door with a straight line. So do you understand? Yuan stuffed his mouth and didn't understand anything. Yuan also knows that there are limitations. If Golden finds out, it will be a bit difficult. But let me give Vane the evidence. But my teammates risked his life to get it. Is it too much to ignore?
Vanilla smirket.
You think I came here to ask you a favor? Her two shoulders transformed and grew two speakers. If you're really that stubborn, this mother and daughter are crazy. What are you going to do in the hospital? I have someone backing me up, so I want to go crazy. You can do anything crazy. Luna, you're like that, calm down. A handsome young man, shining like a male god coming. Both the nurse and the patient stared after him. Sister, I heard you said Pianito is so late. Being blamed by my sister. He still maintained a smile on his face. Said there were too many fans at the entrance. But he should care about them. Yuan has seen this guy before. He is the Bianato of the union. Both a hero and a celebrity. Lately, his reputation grew more and more. Piano turned to ask about Yuan. What about you? It's good to see him so strong. But you should understand that. If everything were to be exposed, it would be very troublesome. Will you be able to bear the consequences? This guy's mouth smiles, but his words are laced with poison. Furthermore, he is an arrogant person. Yuan thinks he won't let this go. Are they plotting to hide the villain's return? If you don't give it to them, it will cause trouble for you. Isn't that so? It seems like you two misunderstood. I didn't say I wouldn't give it. Very immediately realized that this guy had other intentions. Yuan smiled meaningfully. In return, can you do me a small favor? Yuan deals with two big characters of the union. The stylist was able to stand up and was getting dressed. Are you sure you're okay? You should stay in the hospital a little longer. The nurse worriedly advised him to stop. But Stylisto definitely said no. My bones recovered very quickly. He laughed. Be the nurse who puts some advice to the back of your head. He's handsome and everything he says is right. Stylisto quickly left. Think of him. Like the vampire he encountered last time. He is really so superior that Solito leads to clenching hands. Moreover, he couldn't believe it. Those bastards. Still experimenting with those crazy things. The better it is, the better. At least this time Stylisto is confident. You can take the whole nest and go visit your grandparents as one. He found their location. Connect to the network using a computer. Outside the hospital room, Yuan was waiting. As soon as he saw the person, he wondered. Have you been given permission to travel? Thank you for visiting me. So touched. Scaliso smiled without pretending. How's everything, Tommy? Are you okay? She's out of the hospital. Only his brother is still confused. It hasn't come out until now. Yuan showed the phone to the phone. It's a picture of I am taking a selfie with the whole group. Posted on Bianito's personal page. More and more people pay attention to the incident. Because there is a promotion. The article currently has 132,000 likes. The amount of interest and followers increased. Du Ion became the focus of her rank. In the union it will probably also increase. Yuan explains the situation. Solito wondered why the Binato did that. Something happened while I was unconscious. Although I still have many questions. But Teo still laughed. Great, so what about the 10 items we collect? Yuan replied calmly that I gave it all to them. Skylito was stunned. Yuan continued to lean against the wall and scroll through her phone. Explain that yesterday Vanilla came and threatened us.
Primer kando ang tingausa.
So we asked them to promote us a bit. As soon as he finished speaking, Yuan was shocked by Saberto's collar. His dark, contorted face drew closer. Siliso was extremely angry with him. You forgot. The reason why I had to lie in bed at the hospital. Until now. It's because of that evidence. But I threw myself into the rubble to protect it. To the point where the body was broken into pieces. He himself also witnessed it. The people there were all experimented on. Yuan tells him to calm down first. You think I just gave it to them without any plan? Oh, right at this moment Hugo received a phone call. Scaberto had trouble understanding why. Why do I have to bring up this phone call? I saw that the other end of the line had just finished saying hello. Started to complain. Don't know why. I have to help you with these things again. The copy data you said is still very good. I've sent it back to the villa, you can take care of the rest. Ace doesn't know. Yuan turned on the speaker again for Stylisto to listen together. So still enthusiastically scolded. Next time there's something to say first. Just text suddenly like that. Yuan quickly apologized to her sister, then hung up the phone and turned around. Stylisto was pleased. I said, I will deliver the goods if they are willing to nominate us. And then they agreed. I also contacted Haste to copy all data, except for the original data. We're lucky to have Haste on our side. That means we also have whatever calcium we have. Scaberto couldn't help but wonder how crazy this father was. Yuan asked proudly. I don't know if last time was illegal or not. If you've done it, let's get it done. After all, breaking the law is your job. Not only that, Yuan also took out a plastic tube from his pocket. Contains green liquid. And I found this among these. Doesn't that object look very important? In the lab today, scientists prepare to go to lunch. They lamented to each other that today there were only vegetables. A security guard stared. 2 people just left. Then in a flash he turned into a young man with narrow eyes and a white face. Let's borrow some face, bro. The message was not sent from G1. After transforming into a human from the laboratory, Yuan immediately went straight to the computer room to find a sample analyzer. Yuan immediately pulled out the blue liquid found at the scene. Pour into test tube and throw into machine. Unexpectedly. Experience working in a laboratory. So useful. Now let's start analyzing. Scaberto is also trying his best. Because of the present, it is not possible to obtain an official investigation order. While waiting for the machine to give me the results. A man with a haggard face. I don't know where it appeared from. It's not like he just went out to eat. Yuan jumped numbers very quickly. Said he suddenly remembered he forgot something. He doesn't really care either. Please give me the box under the machine. Yuan pulled it out and recognized it when he looked at it. Right, what's in there? It's the necklace around the neck of those brutal people. The skinny brother saw him so surprised and asked, Haven't looked at it yet? At the scene, someone was wearing that thing. Because it was broken, it was not recalled. I had to try really hard to fix it. I think this thing is to control people. That's great. Isn't it? To create this thing is probably not easy. So why did the haggard brother still research it? It seems they invented it a long time ago. Yuan's face wrinkled as if torn. One can be sure that the villains have not been destroyed yet. These Union batsmen are hiding this. It will take a lot of time to analyze. So Yuan decided to just lock it, so that no one can open it. First, then get the results later. Meanwhile, go spying with your teammates. After Yuan left, the computer displays a new data notification window. Duplicate old data. Return to Jusk's mansion. 3 people sat holding a pile of papers. Exactly a pile of paperwork. Why is there so much ACC? Newcomer to the AM. Looking at the pile of papers makes me want to disappear from this place. We have to read the whole lot. This really makes me cry so dizzy. And back to the live stream. Saberto immediately told her to look at the other 2 people. They've been like that for 2 days now. Of course, no one can maintain normalcy anymore. Unexpected. The amount of information inside is so huge. But it also cannot be ignored. Even if it's the most useless clue. At this moment, Yuan next to him went crazy. It was so overwhelming that he stood up. Revenge for Stylisto. And regain the union's reputation. That's important too. But I love myself more. Zombie asked him where he was going. Yuan said he received 2 billion every month. This way the water won't flow away. Must think of something new. Zombie also stood up and followed. Said I need to watch over Yuan. Cried when he realized he had just arrived. Then everyone has gone. Salito also sympathized with the 2 of them because of that expression. Buying a glass like this won't help you concentrate. At that moment, the computer displayed an image of a neighborhood. If so, then only in reality can we attain enlightenment. I am immediately came up with a big idea. She asked Teo what she wanted to eat. But he was busy giving you something to think about, so he didn't pay. Word grimaced for a moment. He stood up, put on his shirt, and said green. I'm out here too. Shouted the hell I am shocked to the core. Can you leave me alone? Are people teasing me or something? It's not yet convenient to say. I will definitely report back when I check. He'll go and come back right away. Having finished speaking, Siliso also left. I'm so upset, but I turn around and go into order. On the other side, a red supercar raced along the road like a ghost. Then he parked himself in a high-rise building. Makes everyone who looks at it admire and admire. Seo John and Yuan got out of the car arrogantly. The car is so cool, Yuan seriously exclaimed. Why does John think this is natural? Because it's just Ashima's car. Why should he be so surprised? Now what are you going to do? I plan to save to buy real estate. But you have to buy clothes that fit first. Because I gradually adapt to my abilities. So my muscles are getting bigger and bigger. Seo John also has to admit those muscles. It's truly soul-crushing. Then we have to go shopping. Seeing Seo John volunteer to go first. Yuan asks if she intends to help her. Or whatever, you can buy it yourself. Anyway, I just choose a few sets to practice. Seo John said it like she had honeycomb sandals in her belly. Luan. But it was true that he had such intentions. So I have to argue that I don't have money. Seo John told him to just believe and follow him. No need to worry about other things. Seo John enthusiastically chose clothes for Yuan. She draped a suit on him. A moment later, saw Yuan dressed like a true gentleman. Then we even went out to eat a fancy steak with Seo John. Yuan sat looking at the plate of food. There are some frogs at sky-high prices. At this time, Yuan was carrying a big bag and a small bag. 2. We don't need to buy this much. Seo John glared at him for complaining so much. Youngwon was confused and sprayed stiff glue. Those things are all yours. But she bought it enthusiastically like it was her own. But the attitude is so scary that I don't even dare turn it on. On weekdays, you can wear whatever you want. But when you go out with me, then let's prepare ourselves a bit more beautifully. Yuan doesn't understand why it has to be like that. At this moment, he saw the Bionado standing like a romantic. Smile warmly with everyone around you. That's Bionado, right? Why is he here? Member of the Union. Just like the stars. Bionado has many more phases. After hearing this, Yuan coldly snorted and Soyeon asked him what was wrong. I do not understand. Why does Vanilla want to use her powers? There were still a lot of people at the hospital around there. It's because Vanilla Seo John replied calmly. Someone immediately responded. She can control range. Effects of attacks. Only your eardrums are damaged. Vanilla appears from nowhere. Continuing the story of two people shocked them. Zombie, you were also present where the incident happened, right? Why do you care? Take care of our newcomers. Are you two dating? They even hang out together here. Seo John's face turned red and she screamed loudly. Vanilla seemed quite surprised. But she didn't care. What is the relationship between the two people? I'm sorry for stealing evidence like that. I behaved rudely. She suddenly apologized, making Yuan startled and confused. I know you two probably thought I was a bad guy. But everything is more complicated. Two people think a lot. Threatened. Even if you say these words, it sounds ridiculous. But I still have to say thank you. Is it okay for you to say that in front of me? Why did John suddenly find this second aunt a terrible eyesore? I thought you two shared everything you had. On their side. I still hold important information. The Union. They also have better treatment than the people at the garden. Yuan smiled wryly. In fact, whatever they have, he also has. Of course they don't know this. At this moment, Vanilla was called to take pictures. She immediately turned her head away. Before leaving, she said she was looking forward to it. See more. Because of the abilities of two people. They are great. Yuan finds this surprising. Seoyin raised her eyebrows and glared at him. You don't intend to take her side, do you? The Union always only cares about their own interests. Many people make a lot of money, thanks to being a substitute. Before the enemy is defeated. Acta did the same. They act like celebrities, but not like a hero at all. That's right, but Seo John also feels that Vanilla girl. It seemed very serious about what she said. How is the analysis going? Is that a thing? I think it takes a while to get results. Well, should we go take a look? Late at night, Yuan turned into that doctor again. Maybe there's no one here anymore. Hey, you just arrived. My haggard brother appeared from nowhere. Oh God. Next time he appeared. Can you please stop being so sensational? Killing and then having a heart attack. Did this guy do that on purpose or something? Yuan had to shyly ask him why he hadn't returned yet. He calmly said that every day they worked until morning. He yawned loudly. Then he said he was researching a control collar. He thought he would find something. But this device with manipulative powers. Do you have any clue about it? Yuan quickly said he didn't know anything, even though he really encountered it. The other guy continued to exclaim, "What an inhumane item. I don't understand what they plan to do with this. Check out your sample. Looks like the results are there." Thanks to him reminding Yuan, she ran to see. I almost forgot about it today. There is this story. See duplicate data notification window. Yuan was even more startled. What the heck just happened? Conduct a data search again. The window shows level 0 and asks for an access code. Yuan has the password that Hastar gave to Jusk. So you can get in. There is a folder but it's empty inside. Even if there's something inside, that's just recent data. Suddenly, Yes' face darkened. Eyes opened wide in surprise. Think no way. Then perform a series of movements. The results came out. This is what makes people even more shocked. Detect types and objects. Found specimen. But it makes people difficult to understand. It is. That thing was found in Justin's body. If this matches the documents Yuan brought back. So the stylisto villains are in pursuit. Related to Justin's passing. No one can prove this. So we have to campaign on our own to find justice. That's it. When it's an important moment, call your teammates. It's crazy to be a little curious. Besides, it's not even in the penthouse. Then you know which way to find it. Hero building. Union manager, this stylisto opened the door. Does anyone want to come out here and talk? Yuan frantically rang the doorbell. Song called loudly but no one answered. A young-looking girl happened to pass by. Seeing Yuan, he immediately ran over to say hello. "Oh my, you're the one who just appeared on Bienito's SNS. Is that right?"
Imbibi.
"Nice to meet you." Yuan greeted back in surprise, wondering who this friendly beauty queen is. "I'm Saberto's friend, but he just went out." Miss is friendly and enthusiastic for Yuan. "Silito's whereabouts? Do you know where he went?" "I'm sorry I didn't ask, but it seems like it's going too far." Yuan listened and gritted his teeth and grimaced. This paternal father intends to go alone to find the villains, right? Silito took the bus to a familiar neighborhood. On the computer screen he saw at home. "It's been a long time since I've been here. Saberto seems quite nostalgic for this place. There are still people living here. And according to his observations, then nothing changes. Still a dirty neighborhood." Siliso stopped in front of a building. "It seems like a long time ago." He touched it. Tuong muttered, "But why does it have to be this place? That building used to be called Together Offa. At that time Skyberto was Kongtel. Only 10 years old and has limp legs. Must use a cane to walk. Kongtel is traveling normally on the road." The boy in the orange shirt rushed forward like a tank from behind, and intentionally rammed into Teo, causing him to fall face down on the ground. Kongtel painfully hugged his injured leg. The boy in the orange shirt and the girl in the red shirt stood there again, laughing as if he had just achieved a glorious victory. "You have to be careful behind you. You should really watch out, because you can't use your legs. Being so cruel at such a young age is truly hateful." Kongtae was also very bitter, but there was nothing he could do. I couldn't curse back one word. Yes, the child has shrunk so he gets along better with his teachers. Even taught him a lesson. Teo said no, unconvinced. But that was not unintentional. They did that on purpose. Constantly teasing your child. She talked to them already. The children were very apologetic and then apologetic at noon. Is there any remorse in these two faces? But what if this continues? You should look at yourself, right? The teacher's words made me tense up. Spray glue to make it stiff. Yet the teacher was not satisfied and continued. You can't take care of your child all the time, right? You should also take care of yourself. The two bastards saw this and laughed happily. Kongtae looked at them clenching their hands and asked himself. By the time they left the room, they were still laughing.
Kangtel is really useless, isn't he?
The teacher didn't even bother to defend him anymore. Atrophy scene in front. They called again. The boy in the orange shirt squinted his eyes, signaling a deceitful smile. Then the two of us jumped up and pushed hard again. Then, as if he had just achieved a victory, he laughed, still not paying attention to what's behind her. The boy in orange shirt also intended to make a few more sarcastic comments. Then I saw Kongtae and said nothing. Stand up and gallop forward, despite the deformed knees. While the boy in orange shirt panicked, Kong immediately gave him a stick right in the face. A merciless hit, causing the orange-shirted boy to fall to the ground and groan. He also wants to raise his voice at you, but Kongtel did not allow him to continue raising the stick. The boy in red shirt stood next to him, speechless. The boy in the orange shirt was beaten to a pulp. Purpleness all over the face and all over the adult. The sound of begging Kongtae stopped. Kongteo got even angrier and continued to attack. When the teacher found the place where Teo was standing panting, the teacher asked him what he was doing standing there and then turned pale. The boy in the orange shirt was beaten until blood splattered on the floor. Kongtae was also stunned. I don't believe what I just did. What are you? The call woke Saberto from his memories. A cute red-haired girl, looking at him with round eyes. This building has been dissolved, the girl reminded. Saberto forced a smile in response. Yes, it seems like it's been around for a long time. The girl held out her hand in front of him. Laugh without seeing the sun. There's nothing free in life. I told you the information. Then you have to spend money here. Oh my God. I'm so small. Saberto searched his pocket for money. But it's not easy to give it to a child. But I have to answer this question for you first. What is it? Lately, people around here have gone missing. Do you know anything about that? Silicon has already taken the money. The red-haired girl's face turned pale after hearing this. Immediately said he didn't know anything. He didn't need to pay anymore and quickly turned away. But Stylisto quickly grabbed her. Do you know something, right? Just tell me everything. The redhead looked skeptical. Then raise your free hand and wave. Saberto immediately approached. She whispered into his ear. In fact, the little girl's eyes were red. Open mouth wide with sharp teeth. Resolutely scrape off the handsome piece of meat from his mouth. Stylisto quickly hugged the bitten place and looked at the baby in confusion. The one who's arresting everyone is you. The girl took off her camouflage cloak to reveal her body. Really happy smile. Skylecto's blood splattered on the road surface. Stylisto clamped his mouth shut. Nothing has been bitten by monsters yet. Is that too careless? Right. Why did you come here by yourself? What's wrong with you? Stylisto isn't a senior. The red hair just flipped the card over. It's because you've started making fun of others. It seems you know something about me. Stylisto seemed unhappy. Of course I know about you. People say that he is a 7-beater. Only being taken advantage of by others. They are also talking about it again. Use him as a test subject. I'm so glad you came to find me, you know? The redhead smiled widely as if she had just found a gold mine. Not an error experiment like Stylisto. Stylisto's hand grows sharp bones. He calmly replied to the red hair. Yes, it was really vague. But it seems it's getting easier now. Engine overheating and burning spark plugs. Stylisto's face is also black and his skin is so scary. Is there a look of fear in front of the little girl? Saberto didn't bother to talk much to her anymore, but attack immediately to save time. People who talk a lot are often poor. Stylisto used the bone spike in his hand to attack. The redhead also raised her hand. Sharp, witch-like claws sprouted from nowhere. Both technologies are extremely powerful. Then pass through each other's lives to hurt each other. The red hair smiled extremely pleased and sure of victory. Stylisto is now paying attention to your nails. The two of them together break the ending. Then turned around and continued to attack each other. The extremely excited redhead attacked Stylisto continuously. After 3 moves, she successfully scratched Celesteo's sleeve. Yet his brother could only miss once. Ha ha ha, so much fun, you mustn't be taken down too soon. Where are you, senior? Red hair just punched again and again. Just encouraged Stylisto to fight to the end. Stiletto gritted his teeth. This girl was truly a monster. The girl kept slashing like she didn't know what it was like to be tired. Stylisto's shirt was peeled off by the girl. From one piece to another. I'm almost out of shirts. Taking this opportunity, Stylisto quickly approached. The red hair did not have time to react. So Stylisto stabbed sharp bones into both sides. Lifting it up high is also carrying it, but this kind of carrying is very strange. The red hair that got hit lay still in Stylisto's hand. You'll be taken out easier than that pathetic specimen. Stylisto scoffed without looking at the kid's hand. Stirring. The red hair suddenly woke up and squeezed Stylisto's hand. The guy was suddenly attacked. But I still had time to shake myself. Kick to escape your child's grasp. The red-haired boy jokingly called out. A while smiling loudly. It hurts so much. The red-haired boy's hand had quite a few lacerations. Bleeding, but very quickly they completely healed. She's not injured. Kid. The red hair smiled arrogantly at Saberto's question. Like this? Isn't that a bit too much for a cute junior? The red-haired star threw the sharp bone of Stylisto to the ground. The guy was shocked. Yes, this brat can strengthen and regenerate her body. It's too buffalo. I will do the same to you. After speaking, the red-haired boy rushed forward excitedly, constantly clawing at Saberto's body, as if being jealous. Saberto can guarantee that this brat is fast. But he could not be penetrated. He will continue to block attacks and wait for the right opportunity. I heard you must be very strong. The kid tilted her head and laughed mockingly at Stylisto. She held her own arm. Prepare to show him a special performance. The girl decided to tear off this arm, then generously gave it to Stylisto. The thrown arm seemed to turn into a bear pick. Each finger is curved and ready to grip the opponent tightly. What is this? Stylisto hastily turned into a shield of bone. To fight this evil thing. Then cut off that demonic arm. While he was busy dealing with that devil, the kid jumped again and used both legs to kick forward. Aim straight at Stylisto's stomach and kick. Are you surprised? At this time, her legs suddenly became extremely large. This is a move where 11 store many stations get hit. This is straightforward. Made Stylisto fall down and grind the road for a while. When he held his stomach and stood up, he vomited a mouthful of blood. Yet the red-haired girl smiled innocently. Looks like the pile of bones can't protect his body anymore. Stylisto did not have time to react further. I saw the little girl's feet in front of me. This girl happily straightened her legs and kicked. Miss Stylisto's handsome face. I don't feel sorry for that face. But many people feel sorry for it. Stylisto could only grimace now, lying on the ground, unable to get up anymore. But the girl is still pushing him to the end. He could barely control his bones anymore. But I can control all my bones and muscles. In my opinion, I'm on another level. The red-haired boy was extremely proud when talking about his abilities. The girl's arm just jerked away, recovering at lightning speed. The girl raised her enormous, sinewy legs again. Look what they said, they needed a sample. But I didn't tell you to take me back alive. She wants to step on Stylisto until he logs out. Silicon strained to support red hair. But going crazy. Continuously stepping on the chalk. Encouragingly chanting the slogan bop hey, he 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 he. Every little word said. It was an unforgiving step down. Not long after, Suberto's bone shield was shattered. He saw the dark gate of hell right before his eyes. At this moment, Yuan shot in like a rocket. Gently nudged the red-haired girl out like a tank bulldozing a motorbike. Red hair was hit so hard that it knocked a hole through a corner of the house. You went too far. Stylisto just tried to get up and made a judgment. Are you happy to see me? Yuan smiled brightly at him. These names are related to the person who murdered TC. We must not let them escape. Yuan told the situation to the damn Stylisto. Red hair like a zombie rose from the rubble. I haven't seen anyone yet, but I've heard people cursing. You bastards. This question just finished. It was the red hair that jumped out of the rubble. Who are you? So annoying. The child is still deciding on his career. Yuan was aggressive. Rushed in with a thunderous punch that sent the red hair flying. But this flight is a bit painful. Yuan rotated his shoulder and said it's time to change turns. 2 minutes back in time to the past. At this moment you had just received a blow to the back. It hurts to the point of baring one's teeth and rolling one's eyes. If you have taken a heavy hand, it's terrible to scold him cruelly. I told you to rotate your hips. You have to observe the enemy to the end. Haven't finished moaning yet. Yuan was immediately punched in the leg again. Don't just rotate your upper body like an idiot. But you have to pay attention to your feet too. Before using your butt to touch the ground. Yuan squealed like a pissed-off pig. Yet still being scolded was like being slapped in the face. Just fighting without even learning the basics. What a mess. He even sought me out for training. Haster put his wooden sword behind his back. Extremely serious about criticizing Yuan. No matter how much she hates you openly, I do it best. Isn't the earth tired? Luckily, she still has a little conscience left. But Yuan is also very stubborn. I just stopped for a moment to breathe, teacher. Oh, whatever you say. But Haste seemed surprised. It should be. You just need to act like just tie and get the money. That's right, why try so hard? Yuan looked at her and then looked away. At first it was like that. I lost my family to criminals. I couldn't do anything but watch. How can I be a hero? I just thought about pretending to be someone else and begging. But now it's different. Yuan looked at his hands and clenched his fists. Help everyone. Maybe a bit too much. But I don't want to throw away my duty. And to do that, I should be able to control this power, right? Haste smiled at him. Control your power. It doesn't sound as simple as that. Let me tell you in advance that I won't be lenient with you. Haste pointed the sword straight at Yuan again. Rub. Why did he suddenly feel a bit regretful? Back to the present. At this moment, the red-haired girl was scratching Yuan with her claws. But he avoided being a crazy brat. Constantly scratching but never scratching. Even so, he was hit by Yuan's palm. He punched her 3 times in a row, terrifying the kid. It's not a light thing that Serato fought her, so he should know. The little girl looks a little shy, that's all. So strong. Yuan of the present. Not even bothering to block or parry her attacks. This strength makes Salito not dare to compare. With the match between him and that girl. He asked to lie under someone's bed. Others should have heard the talk. Haste trained Yuan. But he didn't expect him to improve so much. In such a short amount of time. Right now, the red-haired girl was treated like a punching bag by Yuan. The more you punch, the more addicted you become. Making her cry extremely realistic. Not calling to please like when fighting with Siberto. Why don't you just give up and surrender? Personally, I really don't want to bully a girl younger than me. Stop. Show off your strength just because you hit a little bit. The kid smirked at the big thing. Yuan also knows this kid is really fast. But it's nothing compared to height. Seeing that the situation was unfavorable for the red-haired girl, she immediately changed her tactics. The girl used the 11-store menu station move again, aka elephant legs, and asked proudly, "How about this?" Yuan's face is as cold as money. It's just a stronger force. Yuan has plenty of this. He immediately had a way to deal with manipulation. Just one punch with this move is able to crush those elephant legs of that little girl. This time it was Yuan's turn to be proud. She thinks she's stronger than me. The legs are punched until they bloom. The girl's body moved and changed, then turns into sharp tentacles, scratching and tearing Yuan's skin. He couldn't help but smack his lips because he was too arrogant. I didn't expect that my legs were crushed, but I could still attack. The girl immediately laughed. Looks like I'm too strong, that's funny. You are the same. Siliso does not know when he recovered. While she was busy dealing with Yuan, immediately rushed to attack. Use bones to tie the child tightly. He's poured quite a bit of bone into locking down the redhead. This time she won't be able to escape. The red hair also tried to struggle, revealing the mark on the back of the neck. Salito also has a mark on his back. He was very familiar with this trail. That wound. She is also a specimen. Why did she side with them? Your mother's daughter. Wow, I just asked a question, but why are you so hot like ice cream? He was originally a 7 loser. Can't do anything soulful. We're all a bunch of idiots. You have a problem with your leg, right? Have you forgotten how you will be treated by others? Being experimented on was like torture and then being murdered. The little girl shouted that everything was not important anymore. Baby. The one who survived that cruel experiment. I was born again. She's completely crazy. Salito was completely unable to say anything more. For this case. Crazy, the girl's ears were so itchy that she went crazy. Do you want to see what crazy really is like? The child's entire body turned purple. Yuan and Siliso opened their eyes wide in surprise. Look at the black shadow covering my head. This thing is the Manifation Ray Pitbull. That cute little girl just now. Transformed into a purple monster. Tall giant burp. Yuan sees that the crisis is really coming now. This purple monster is truly terrifying. It screamed, causing the whole furnace to panic. The height is so high that it surpasses even some high-rise buildings. Should attract the attention of surrounding people. Everyone was extremely scared, and hastily urged each other to run away. But now, Yuan was seriously injured again after using Maximum. So it is not possible to use energy properly. In this condition, the purple dinosaur growled again. Growling aimed at the two young men below. That size of it. Then, a normal Maximum attack wouldn't be able to deal with it. While giving up, knowing what to do, Yuan's foot bumped into it. The arm was abandoned by the red-haired girl. I'm still wondering what that is. Where does the lightning energy come from? That's not the arm that was amputated just now. Star source of lightning energy flows into the body. A familiar feeling when Yuan touches the body. Dropped TC when he passed away. Haven't had time to really feel the difference. The purple dinosaur was approaching the door. He froze because he was so scared or something. Yuan smirked. Last time I couldn't do it. But that also means I've gotten stronger. What the hell are you talking about? Of course, monsters cannot understand human language. But Yuan still wants to exclaim. Look out from now on. I no longer have to worry about ear injuries. This is going to hurt a lot. Yuan was extremely excited about trying this new move. Manifestation Mknam Ororino with just one punch. Yuan was able to fight monsters unknown. Mutant size like a purple dinosaur. The red hair returned to its original form. Blood rushed out and then fell face first into the ground. Ass up in the air. One arm and part of the child's ribs were injured. Destroyed but regenerating itself at lightning speed. Then she recreated it again. It's really scary. Yuan grimaced and exclaimed. Right at this moment, Yuan's body suddenly reacted violently with convulsions, making him unable to suppress this swearing. What's wrong with Li Yuan? Yuan also anticipated that her body would be harmed. But I never thought it would hurt this much. Tentacles of darkness surrounded Yuan. Just then Tommy appeared. She heard their story from Iamium. Knowing about Yuan ran here with Silito. At this time, Siliso is looking at the aftermath of Yuan's punch. On the road. It's really top. With this range, can be said that the power is almost on par with that of Jusk. It will be a lot to clean up all this stuff, thank you. There's nothing, why don't you say anything to us? Chaomi was mad. Put the shadow arm to the base of the two guys' heads. The blood dose is more than this brain blood. Now we laugh together. I just want to confirm. Because the information is not clear. Stylisto said, holding his head. If so, this is clearly related to the TC assassination. Zombie said exactly like Yuan said before. The story started to get confusing. Makes people who have been watching from the beginning. Just like Yuan can't understand. Zombie explains that their initial line of thinking was wrong. That tube is not poisonous. It is a strength-enhancing drug. The main hall of the hero's headquarters. The red-haired girl was wearing power-suppressing cuffs. To be small cannot use heavy and loud power. The girl doesn't look like she was captured. But it's like going sightseeing. Even looking east and west, he asked excitedly. This is where the hero lives. Everyone also looked at the girl. Like an animal in a zoo. It's been a long time since a criminal was brought here. They also heard that the girl was captured at the Union. Some people were surprised that the Union also caught criminals. There are reviewers. Criminal. If you get caught by a rookie, you'll just be weak. When the kid heard it, he got mad and said it again. Scaring people with too many things makes them look blue in the face. Record yourself tickling your baby to stop the madness. Remind her to stop barking and behave well. Just a little bit to be called a dog. The kid immediately cursed recording Ion for having bright hair. Yuan didn't pay attention to them but looked at the group of people. The Union is led by Vanilla. He suddenly remembered. I cheated to steal data. The cheek cage looks like it's ready to be scolded. Who would have thought that Vanilla would smile and praise her for doing well? Seeing someone working hard. Isn't that good? You wonder there's always something wrong here. The white mask stepped forward and said they would take over from here. Ask Siberto to lead the criminal along the indicated path. Siliso told them to stop talking nonsense. He doesn't want to hand people over. But as soon as he finished speaking, His head got a strong concussion, to the point where the buds quickly disappear. At that time, the white mask and two halves of the head took the red-haired girl away. I am worried and asked what's wrong. Yuan is also planning to take care of his friend. Then a voice rang out in my ears. You tricked me? Yuan grimaced and held her ear. I don't understand what that voice is, but it makes my ears hurt so much. Zombie quickly asked him what was wrong. Yuan realized. Maybe he was the only one who heard it. You will regret it. Vanilla was glaring. It turns out that time she said her eardrum hurts meant this. Yuan understood and smiled wryly. So I made her take revenge. The smart zombie immediately understood that she was a vindictive vanilla girl. But that's not too important. What Yuan noticed was that medicine tube. Return to the scene when the team has just completely suppressed it. The girl amplified. Nothing emerged from the autopsy results. Isn't that right? Yuan blushed, looking like he didn't understand. Yumi pulled out a green medicine tube, similar to stuff. He found it in the villain's laboratory. She poured the potion onto her shadow tentacle. They immediately had a strong, dark reaction. Then he suddenly exploded and became poor. This is quite similar to an explosive reaction. Increases strength several times. Serato exclaimed. Chaomi explained to them. If you absorb the amount of medicine in the tube, not just increasing strength, but it also has the ability to cause the user to die. Yuan suddenly remembered. In the autopsy report, also mentioned, just hastily activated its capabilities. Zombie said it was a reaction from the medicine. Jukan stroked his chin thoughtfully. But if that's true, then don't tell me just use drugs. So Jusk isn't really that strong. Not really. He's not the hero who defeated Nemesis. That criminal, not a guy, can easily be defeated by a mediocre hero. Use knockdown medicine. Zombie pointed to the side again, just look there. If it's really just the ability thanks to medicine, is it reasonable? If one person holds that much power. Saliso understood the problem. It's like a time bomb, ready to explode at any moment. A cunning genre. But there is no evidence to trace it. Tommy continued. Because it comes from a criminal. They should be interrogated. Maybe it will help us be more certain about the reason. Why was Justinsey murdered? The atmosphere suddenly became serious. Wait a minute, there's an appointment. I am. Senseless. I don't know when I accidentally heard the story. Immediately shocked and shocked. Scaberto now remembered. I haven't explained it clearly to you. Yuan also did not expect this. But he still forgot. Record. I'm so excited to record and want to know what's going on. Yuan doesn't seem very trustworthy. Scaberto came out and said it was okay to help him know. But just looking at it like that, it's still very tight-lipped. This is more like a spin kick than a word of help too. Actia Office Union Tower Headquarters. Yuan transformed into Justinsey to preside. Feels like it's been a long time since using this look. Especially those stairs. Still can't get used to it. But to find out who assassinated Justiceye, they need to interrogate that red-headed girl. So Justiceye must meet Acta. Yuan may not cooperate with anyone. But if it were Justiceye, they might listen. Thinking of this, someone invited me into Acadia to say hello first. It's been a while. You don't come to my office. Tea or coffee, no thanks. Seeing it like that, Agdaya also naturally drinks alone. He said this helps me relax very well. So why did you come here? Yuan saw this guy acting like he didn't know anything, while being thorough about everything. I heard that a criminal was arrested in the Union. The kid mentioned screaming or something. But so what? That's exactly what it's about. According to intelligence, it seems to involve a relatively large organization. The criminals will likely regroup their forces. Golden has officially requested an interrogation. Oh, the rumors have spread that far. Let's see if Yumi is there. Honestly, that's a reasonable request. However, Acta turned the teacup around and caught it again. What if I object? Why, Ju-won didn't expect him to say that. If the information is correct. This is not something that can be taken lightly. If we don't investigate clearly, it will. Acta calmly interrupted, not sure, right? She seems more like a brat. Is a real criminal. They said she was a bit crazy. That's not typical of scammers. Damn, are you kidding? You know she's clearly not a scammer. Who knows? Assuming the information from that party is accurate. And she is a criminal. So is that good for you? Drops TC if a criminal goes crazy. The Guardian's power will be further reinforced. What are you talking about? What I mean is that Golden's influence has waned. Since crime disappeared. So, there is no reason to comply with a group's demands. Such weakness. That's right. The number one hero Acta showed a disdainful smile. Yuan asked him if he was serious. Acta replied lazily that who knows. What a waste of time. Ju-won walked straight without looking back. Acta was in the background again, exclaiming, "Strangely enough, I was waiting for him to make a scene. Isn't that too obedient? Go out." Ju-won immediately received a phone call asking how the situation was. So as expected. So well, do it as planned. That's right, it seems like there is something to help me that I have to participate in. Ju-won gave a not-so-honest smile. This trip am stirring up trouble for you guys. Below the am is wholeheartedly lamenting and sighing. Why, it was so difficult to bring her back here. She seemed extremely regretful of all their efforts. Yuan has experienced this scene before, so there's not much dissatisfaction. It's just that, in vanilla it seems rushed. As if being urged or having some plan. Zombie says they are union, so it's right to just focus on making money. Styliso turned to ask him what he was going to do. They won't let her go. If we act all the time, it won't be effective. We'll have to do it with justicey, yaha. If it's Acta, I'm sure that he will refuse. Isn't it very difficult to do it even if you fail the exam? Why did Ju-won ask in surprise? Even if Justincy is the number one hero, the guard group is still quite weak. To put it bluntly, Acta is still in the upper hand. Yuan also knew it was like that. The heroes have separated. And is in chaos. If union, the place always aims for profit even more than that. There is a call for both law and justice. There will still be no profit. Besides, simply being strong won't solve anything. I have to do something, Yuan boldly suggested. What are you going to do? Zombie immediately turned around as a conditioned reflex. I've lived my whole life with this, right? Ju-won pointed at his head with a very satisfied voice. They'll have to improvise a bit. But first, let's go see Acadia first. It'll be okay for now. Zombie was sitting there grinding his textbooks. A dark-skinned girl with blonde hair came over. Greeting her is Ju-jin. The two of them have not seen each other for a long time. I'm wondering, lately, are you supporting new members of the union? How is the situation? This is a direct question. What else are you asking yourself? I was offered a supervisory job at the union, so I'm considering it a bit. I heard the salary there is better than that. Tommy smiled bitterly, but she told Ju-jin it was true that the salary was higher. If you really receive an invitation, you should accept it. Ju-jin looked so happy. Jumi stood up and said he had to go. Ju-jin told her that she would stop by the union later. So I want to invite you to drink together. At this time, Zombie opened his phone and saw a message from Wai Anyong. She sends zombies a suspension order from the union. 4 people participated in the arrest of the red-haired boy. All were suspended due to violating organizational rules. This is nothing strange at all. Inability to belong to an organization. But I can do whatever I want. The whole group got information about Justison's departure. So it is considered a harvest. But now what else can be done? Besides, what does Ju-won intend to do with her identity as Justicey? Please don't be crazy. Can't be helped, right? At this time, Chomi saw the heroes gathered in large numbers. What's going on? Wow, Chomi, you're also participating. Participate in what? Mr. Justici is having a training session right now. The brown guy was extremely excited. Chomi was still bewildered, not understanding what was going on. Suddenly, a white-gloved hand reached in front of Jungmi's face. Mark Ray begs zombies to save him. Zombie didn't have time to answer yet. Justin's voice was heard behind him. Where are you going? Training isn't over yet, right? Mark Rai let out an extremely involuntary cry, but still have to squint to release yellow lightning. Justicide dodged the attack neatly. Mark Rai immediately changed to lightning rain. Judicai also avoided the slip at all. Quickly jump in front of her. What caused Mark Ray to be extremely surprised? There's an opening on the left. Hope you can narrow it down. Try to observe more broadly. Justicai used his elbow to gently tap her head. People are extremely respectful. Exclaiming that I can't even see Judicai. Zombie realized Ju-won's true intentions. When doing this, train guardian heroes. Also training for yourself. While dealing with countless types of abilities. He is collecting 10 combat data of his own. It is impossible not to admit that. Ju-won is developing very well. Hitting 2 birds with 1 stone is very good. In the afternoon, the training session finally ended. Good job everyone, take a rest. Thanks for the workout. Ju-won said a few pleasantries and then flew away. The other heroes all exclaimed. The training session was really great. Ju-won was wiping his sweat when Yumi came to find him. Fighting back-to-back with heroes. Ju-won doesn't feel tired talking. Justicai's power is no lie. I've been looking into why guards are so low. There are many shortcomings on the guard side. Some heroes have changed jobs. And a lot of people left together. The loss of talented heroes is one of the main reasons. Makes the guards an incompetent group. We have to readjust Ju-won analysis. Chomi wondered how he planned to regain the balance. Just with such training. I felt like I was pouring a bucket of cold water. On top of that, I'm sorry. This is not enough, Chomi said sadly. Improve the quality of heroes. Making them stronger is also good. But still not enough. Young-won smiled brightly again. Who is good enough without training? How many guys do you think there are? I will replace someone like Kim Sung-gu, a top independent hero. I think my legs are very good. Are you one of the many people who can't do it because of bad luck? Yumi retorted immediately. Anyway, they were all kicked out of the union. So we can't do anything about that. That's right, give the data to Stylisto and Ioniang. Zombie was about to wonder why he had to do that. Then suddenly realized something. Wrong, are you serious? Are you planning on doing that? But what else? I told you that this trip will have to stir up trouble for everyone. Ju-won turned around with a sinister smile on his lips. They're just a bunch of rich, rotten people in the union. Let's give those guys a lesson. What does Ju-won plan to do with the union? Will he succeed or not? Let's look forward to the next developments. On Studio Jade Rabbit Channel.